Hello, people. Um,
Hello.
even though no one's watching, I don't care. This is more just like us discussing because why the hell
We
not?
can. Yeah,
Um, so how are you doing, Nick?
I'm doing well.
Doc 2's on tomorrow, isn't it?
Yeah, it's in about uh at the time with us doing this, it's about a day and 2.5 hours.
Bloody Nora.
And a
Um,
bit.
yeah. Anyways, so what do you want to happen?
For starters, let's hope the writing is a bit better than some of the previous years. Granted, Series 10 was a improvement, but I think I think most people are agreeing that the past few years, certainly since end of Series 6, hasn't had the best writing overall.
Yeah, it's been a
I mean,
bit stale.
there's been quite a few mixed occasion. Most of the seasons are pretty mixed. You've got some really good ones. I think every
Yeah,
series I have at least one 10 out of 10 story since 2005. But there's also
okay.
been a couple of really bad ones. Cough Cough Hellbent's probably the worst single episode since the Space Pirates Part 3. Cough Cough.
No, that's
You
not
think it,
true.
Part 2? No, Part 3 is my worst.
The single worst episode of Doctor Who since then would have been drumroll, please, Kill the Moon.
Okay,
It is Kill the Moon because it's Kill the
that's
Moon.
okay. Well, it's your opinion. I'm not going to argue that.
Yeah, but Kill
Personally,
the
I
Moon's
thought,
like the worst piece of fiction I've ever had to endure.
okay, personally, the Space Pirates is my least favorite ever. But from the new series as an individual episode, it would be Hellbent. As a story, it's probably the Rebel Flesh and the Ganger, as the Almost People.
I think it's.
Emphasis on
I
the
think that two-parter isn't the worst thing ever. I
no,
think it's shit, yeah, but
it's
not the
very
worst thing ever.
no,
It's not
well, the
any.
worst thing ever.
It's not Kill the Moon
Or the Space Pirates.
or Hellbent.
If, well, yeah,
Hell, the reason why I hate Hellbent so much is that it hurts me.
yeah.
It
And for
hurts.
me, it's a betrayal of the show. At least or at least of the legacy, anyway. At least
Well, Kill the Moon is a betrayal of
logic.
writing. Well, it's not a betrayal of logic. It's a betrayal of decency and the art form of fiction. It's a betrayal of fiction. Because it's that bad.
Yeah. Can we let's can we agree that Series 10 had better episodes than Series 8 and 9 as a whole, for the most parts?
To be
I
honest,
mean,
if we exclude anything written by Jamie Matheson in Series 8
yeah,
and Heaven Sent,
yeah.
and possibly a few more episodes, but doesn't matter. If we, for the most part,
Your
the
point.
worst episode in Series 10 is probably better than most episodes in Series 8 and 9.
8 and yes. I mean, there are a couple of very good ones in 8 and 9, but there's also a couple of not so good. In two cases for you, in one case for me, very, very bad.
You know,
Like,
I feel
what the
like
hell?
this year the only
Oh, hang
well,
on. I also forgot. I remembered In the Forest of the Night existed. Can we add that to the very, very bad ones?
no, because it's not
Uh,
for me. I feel like could have been written better.
yes.
So what? I feel like it's tarnished upon for no clear reason.
Hmm.
The thing is, I think the main problem with it is that it was in between Flatline and Dark Water,
Yes.
two very more serious episodes. That
Yeah.
was the
Well,
problem
Flatline, I
total.
would. Well, with Flatline, it was a bit more of a fan favorite. Certainly my favorite of Series 8.
My favorite of Series 8 was Mummy Only Orient Express.
Oh, yes, that's a good one. That's a really good one.
But when Mark Gatiss churns out the third best episode of the season,
Robots or
You've got,
Strongwood.
yeah, you've got a problem on your hands where Mark Gatiss is one of the shining writers of the season, and his
And
episode wasn't even anything spectacular.
I kind of preferred The Caretaker to that, and also Time Heist. So that was a bit more Gareth Roberts and Stephen Thompson with a bit of Stephen Moffat.
I don't really care much for the caretaker.
Fair enough.
And Time Heist, I think I need to rewatch that to be honest.
It is. It's decent at worst. It's not spectacular, but it's better than some other stuff.
Better than Kill the Moon.
Yeah, so
To be
have that in
honest,
your mind.
any Doctor Who episode that will ever be written before or since is better than Kill the Moon. Okay?
Okay,
You've got to make
that's
that clear.
that's your opinion. I'm not going to argue that.
That shitty Narnia special, right?
Yeah, that's
That
my least favorite Matt Smith, by the way.
that one
I think that's
is
what the gang
better
of
than Kill
two-parter.
the Moon. You know the Space Pirates episode 2?
Yeah, well, it's three that I hate the most.
Yeah, but I've only seen episode 2. So
Fair enough. That is shit. It is boring shit.
that is Citizen Kane compared to Kill the Moon.
I won't go that far.
Compared to Kill the Moon, I
No,
would.
no, even compared to Kill the Moon, I wouldn't go that far.
Well, that's because you're one of these idiots who thinks in the Forest of the Night is worse.
Mm,
These
well, I
misjudged
dislike it.
people. Kill the Moon hurts me as well. Like,
Are you
to be
going to
honest,
review it one day?
oh, fuck. Fuck, I kind of have to now. Now that you've mentioned it.
You could rant about it, really. You could do a Doctor Who rant, Kill the Moon. It's turning 5 next year. You could do it for that.
No, I don't want to. Let's celebrate the anniversary of the worst piece of fiction I've ever had to endure.
With a rant.
Actually, I could write that. That could work.
Yes. Doesn't have to be a Universal's video. It could be one of your ones. Did you
I
do a
know.
worst? Have you done a worst Who with Jean on it?
Yeah, but the thing is,
Okay.
when John's channel got deleted, all of
Oh,
the
it's
worst views got deleted with it. So
apart from Time Nirani.
that's because that was on our channel.
Yeah.
Just
You didn't have any. You didn't have them backed up.
no, and this means we have to watch Kill the Moon again. We already had to watch like Closing Time twice.
Oh, are you redoing them?
We had to watch it twice because the
Oh.
first time it didn't record. We had to watch Let's Kill Hitler twice as well.
How many classic Who's worst Who's did you do
None.
besides Time Nirani on the other on our main on the Universals?
None. Absolutely none.
Yeah. What about best Who's? Did you? How many classics?
We did a classic, then a new, then a classic, then a new.
Okay, that's a bit more fair.
Yeah, it's because Classic Who is good apart from Time in the Rani.
Mm. And you might have a couple of others up your sleeve at a later point.
I know, but that I just made the joke that Time in the Rani is the only bad Classic Who story. I know it's not, but like,
yeah.
what?
If you guys watch the reconstructions of episodes 1 and 3 to 6 of the Space Pirates, plus the surviving episode 2, then you could probably do that one.
We could probably do the Space Pirates. The Space Pirates is probably going to be the only missing one we'd ever do because
possibly if you
none
do
of the missing ones are ever like worse bad. Only Space Pirates is the only one that's considered bad.
Yeah, use the reconstruction for the missing ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is, that'd mean that one day we'd have to do the best two on like Daleks Master Plan or something like that.
Yeah.
That would be multiple parts long of best two stuff. If we just
it's 12 and 9 of them are missing, so those would be reconstructions.
Yeah. I remember we did the Greatest Show in the Galaxy for the best two. simply because on the worst two, I kept going like, "Can we watch the greatest show in the galaxy instead?" And I kept doing that every episode, and then John just snapped and was like, "Right, we're doing the best two. We're doing the greatest show in the galaxy." So
that's how that started.
That's how, yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of missing episodes, I watched this video today where it was basically like a timeline of like all the episode recoveries.
Okay.
So basically, it started out like in 1975. That's when the timeline started. Everything was red.
Okay.
Red denoted it was missing. Every single episode listed was red. And that was the pilot episode all the way to the War Games Part 10.
Okay, so pretty much every single 60s episode.
No, not pretty much. All of them.
Every single one.
All of them were red. Every single one.
Everyone. And
the unknown.
I think that's the one that's going to be the last to be recovered if there is any.
It would be the last to be recovered, mainly because the universe would have destroyed itself at that point.
Yeah, that or the Feast of Stephen. Actually,
I think the Feast of Stephen
was the first.
No, I think the Feast of Stephen would probably be the one that was.
No, it was the first one missing. I meant the first one to be deleted.
I don't know about that. I think
it was either one of those two.
I don't know about the history of deletions. I know about the history of recoveries.
Yeah,
but there was a huge recovery. About 40 of them were recovered. Like, actually, no,
wow.
48, I think.
Wow.
And then slowly but surely, once every few years, you got a couple of episodes.
Yeah, the most recent
sometimes it was 10 years, nearly 10 years between episode recoveries. Like 1 year, like in between 2002 2005, one of those years, it was like, oh, the Daleks Master Plan episode 2, nothing until 2011.
Yeah, I think that was 2004, because then they released Lost in Time later that year.
Yeah.
I think it was very early 2004, and then they released Lost in Time towards the end.
Yeah.
They had 18 surviving episodes on that, plus 4 others audio tracks, which completed the Crusade and the Moon Base.
Yeah.
But half of each story was audio. The Moon Base has now 10 years, almost 10 years later, in early 2014, it got an animated version of the missing episodes.
Yeah.
The Crusade.
We're still waiting for that.
Yeah, that would have been, at the time, it was the most logical one to do next because that had the surviving audio, a la Lost in Time. So they could have done an animation similar to that. There was even a petition. I
have a feeling that
that at the time was the most logical.
Don't like historicals.
Yeah, but if they released the Crusade, that's all of season 2 on DVD or Blu-ray when they do the Blu-ray box set.
Thing is, I feel like they think, they sell well, but we don't want to animate them, mainly because we animated Reign of Terror and nobody liked that.
Oh yeah, well, that was due to bad animation. Well, the animated episodes, that was mainly due to the bad animation.
And the thing is, would it sell well enough to justify an animation? Because Moonbase, it has Cybermen in it. There we go. Cash grab. Cybermen. Power of the Daleks. Charlton's first story. Daleks. Boom. Sharda. Yeah, I think it's Sharda. Boom.
I think the only historical story they have animated is the Reign of Terror.
Yes.
Which is sad. Well, for me anyway, because I'm not a fan of that story, and the animation is really poor.
I think that they should animate the Wheel in Space.
Yes.
I want to see the Wheel in Space, mainly because I'm a fan of 60s Cybermen stories.
Yeah, I think that would complete all the Cybermen stories.
Yeah.
At least.
Well, speaking of 60s Cybermen stories,
and we'd be closer to having season 5 complete.
Yeah. We just need
Abominable Snowman and Fury from the Deep.
Oh yeah, Fury from the Deep, yeah.
I think that's the last one to be completely missing.
to be honest, I wouldn't mind if they just released a photo reconstruction, just as long as it was good, like with the Web of Fear.
Yes.
I don't mind that. What I do mind is when it's shitty, like the Underwater Menace.
Do you
It's
want to know a
literally
surprising?
night and day when you compare the two. Like Underwater Menace, I found that fine. Then I watched Web of Fear, and I'm like, okay, this is clearer, this is better. Then I watched Underwater Menace, I'm like, what? Okay, BBC, you somehow managed to do a worse job than someone that would put this together in a day.
Yeah.
You managed to be worse than a half-arsed attempt.
Yeah.
That is a half-assed attempt to do a half-assed attempt, basically,
Yeah.
with
Well,
Underwater
loose
Menace.
cannon. Loose cannon are very good at reconstructions for the most parts.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you can find them on Daily Motion or YouTube.
Ooh, the
I don't know
BBC
if
are
they are on YouTube.
re-releasing the Lost Episode soundtracks, actually.
Are they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Um, they're doing it because like they've stopped printing the old releases, so now they're going to re-release them. I
Okay.
wonder what Volume One's going to include because it's going to be early Hartnell because no one loves
Yeah.
Troughton apparently.
Well,
I mean, I say that, but Troughton's had a lot more DVD releases compared to his VHS releases simply because they're
yeah.
wanting more Troughton. So that's fair enough.
Well, I don't think Enemy of the World will be included anymore. They might re-release it anyway, but maybe not as part of a volume.
They still release. I mean,
They might have it like one of those talking books of a surviving story, but they might not have like the censor rights, for example. But they won't have it as a missing story.
the thing is, they've I have seen like CD releases of like the Ark and Tomb of the Cybermen
Yeah,
missing episode soundtracks.
they might be older.
CD releases,
Oh,
as in CDs, not tape. CDs. I'm just trying to find these new releases. I'll find it on
okay.
the Doctor Who site because they usually report well on merchandise.
Hmm.
Let's see, merchandise.
Are these missing episodes box sets that they had in 2010 and 11? There was about 5 of them, and they had a couple of episodes each.
Not sure,
Or
but
is it just individual releases or brand new sets?
I don't know. Um,
Because the ones that came out in 2010, 11, 12 had the TARDIS. I think it was either a 10th or 11th Doctor TARDIS. And there was a different colour background per set. And there was
okay,
some
there's an
images from the
Amazon
story.
listing.
Okay.
There's an Amazon listing. Doctor Who Lost TV Episodes Collection 1, 1964 to 1965, narrated forecast TV soundtracks on audio CD. Is there anything that says what it contains? I mean, it's 35 quid on Amazon. Well, it says John Lucarotti as author,
That would be
Dennis
Marvel.
Spooner as author, so
Terror.
yeah, David Whittaker,
Crusade.
William Ems,
Galaxy 4.
I think so. Yeah, William Ems, and 6 more. Donald Cotton.
I would say the Myth Makers.
Um, let's see.
Last one, Terry Nation. Because I know what the last one would be. If it's 6 stories and there's 6 writers and the last one's Terry Nation,
There's no
the
Terry
last
Nation.
oh
Those
no,
were all the
actually he would be
authors.
5th. He'd be 5th
Those
if
are
Mission to the
the.
Unknown. Okay, maybe they're doing Mission to the Unknown with Dalek Master Plan. In which case, this should be Marco Polo, The Reign of Terror, The Crusades, Galaxy 4, and The Mythmakers.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Even though Mission to the Unknown comes before The Mythmakers, but I'm guessing they're including that with
Usually they release
Master Plan.
Didn't they release Mission to the Unknown and Master Plan together on CD?
Might have. Yeah, maybe.
No.
That would explain a lot.
No footage of the story survives in the archives, although full audio does exist. The audio recording of the episode, without narration by Peter Purves, was made available on CD as part of the Daleks Master Plan, first released by the BBC Radio Collection in October 2001.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay, so it will be in the next set then.
It would probably be in the
and
volume
Master
too.
Plan. Yeah. My predictions is that Volume 2 will take us up to the end of Season 3, if not to the end of the Hartnell era.
Mm-hmm.
So, if we say if it's 5 stories set, then maybe 6 for this one because of Mission. So, Mission to the Unknown, Master Plan, Massacre, Celestial Toymaker, Savages. That's 5. I think Smugglers would start off the next set. Do you think that's plausible?
Yeah.
And then I think set 3 would be the first half of Season 4, so Smugglers, 10th Planet, because of Part 4. Power of the Daleks, Highlanders, possibly the Moon Base. Might end with Underwater Menace and maybe ends on the Moon Base.
Yeah.
Then it would be the Macra Terror, the Faceless Ones, the Evil of the Daleks, the Abominable Snowman, the Web of Fear, Fury from the Deep, the Invasion, the Space Pirates. That's 8, so they might do 4 and 4. Or Moon Bases on Volume 4 and 5, and then 4 more. I think that sounds plausible.
Yeah.
At the same time, maybe Savages is on the start of the next volume, and it's 5 volume.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to theorize. But then again, like I said, if Mission to the Unknown is part of Master Plan, then it might be 6 on Volume 2. But it would still only be 5 cases, if you know what I mean. Like if they did individual cases inside the boxes.
Yeah.
Although Master Plan might have an extra disc for Mission to the Unknown, depending on how many episodes a disc they have. Like on the DVDs.
Yeah. Thing is, on disc, they could probably fit 3 episodes per disc.
Yeah. I would have said 4.
Possibly 4, actually.
So you could have Mission to the Unknown, maybe some bonus features, and then parts 1 to 4, parts 5 to 8, parts 9 to 12.
So we're talking about Doctor Who on CD, so we might as well lead on to some Big Finish.
Okay.
Our favorite topic.
Yes.
I'm
slowly getting into it, but I'm going to have to take a bit of a break of collecting because I'm not got much money, so I'm going to have to get
saving
more.
up for things, multiple things. So I'm probably not going to be buying much stuff either
For the current time.
Yeah, for now. But what? I don't know what I was going to say with that. So let's just speak. We were having a conversation earlier, right?
Yeah.
About about Sirens of Time, about what specific releases we have.
Yeah.
Oh, my dad's. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Whenever it went peas, yeah.
I like peas.
Okay.
Anyways, before my dad came in, yeah, we were speaking about Sirens of Time. Turns out, Nick, you probably have a re-release.
Yeah, it's got the booklet. On the back of the booklet has has an introduction from Nicholas Briggs, written in January 2001.
Mhm.
And inside, hang on, there is a listing of Big Finish releases up to Minute in Hell, which is number 19, I think.
Mhm.
And then the next 3 releases coming soon. Yes, the next 3. Plus, it's got Bernard Summerfield 1 to Series 1 and Series 2 Episode 1. And then I think the other 3 from Series 2 is coming soon.
Yeah.
Yes. So Bernie Series 1 and the first from Series 2, plus the remaining of Series 2 oncoming soon.
Yeah.
Or undercoming soon.
I'm just checking my releases that I have physically
Yeah,
from.
you just said it was Bernie Series 1.
Yeah, but I'm checking my other 1 to 15 releases because those were the ones that were being re-released. Because
Yeah.
yeah,
I've also got the Mutant Phase, but that seems to be the original copy.
yeah, I just checked The Land of the Dead.
Which one was that?
That
So,
one's
which
number
release?
4.
Okay. So that's the first Peter Davison. So no, not the first Peter Davison. So
The first
the
Peter
first.
Davison and Nissa solo.
Okay. Wait, that was number 4. I thought Sylvester McCoy's one was number 4.
No, Sylvester McCoy's first one was number 5.
Okay, that was the Fearmonger, right?
Yes. I'm checking the Genocide Machine as well.
Who was Marrying Conspiracy? That was Colin Baker. 6 and 7 are in releases. 6 and 7.
Well, Genocide Machine is number 7, and that's the Seventh
Yeah,
Doctor one.
yeah. Marrying Conspiracy 6, and that's Sixth Doctor.
Yeah.
They should have swapped the Fifth Doctor, and they should have swapped. What was it? Land of the Fear? Did you say?
Land of the Dead.
Land of the Dead. They should have swapped that from the Fearmonger round, so that Seven's got a release within the Seven's release was the 4th one, and then 5 could have a release. Could have the 5th release.
Yeah.
So that 5 is 5, 6 is 6, 6 is 7.
Genocide
7 is
Machine
7.
seems to also be an original.
Okay, cool.
Now Winter for the Adept appears to be an original as well, and those
Is that
are the
number
only.
8?
That is number 10.
Okay. What was 8 and 9? Trying to work out which
Ooh,
dots.
that's a good question. Actually, it would probably say that in Winter for the Adept.
Probably.
Actually. Number 8 is Red Dawn. That's a Fifth Doctor, Perry, and Ice Warrior story. And then number 9 was the Spectre of Lanyon Moore.
With Sixie.
Sixie, Evelyn, and the Brigadier.
Yeah. And then number 11 is the 6th Doctor, Evelyn and Romana, and the Daleks.
Yes.
Number 12 is Fires of Vulcan, with 7 and Mel.
Yeah.
Then you get to number 13, which is 7, Ace, and Benny. Number 14 is probably the most notable one since the Sirens of Time, besides the American Conspiracy, and that is the Holy Terror, with 6 and the greatest companion ever since K9, Frobisher.
Better than K9.
And yeah, I wasn't completely sure whether lots of people had said Robert Jessup did a fantastic voice. I wasn't completely sure whether that was going to be whether to believe them. They are telling the truth. Robert Jessup is amazing.
I just realised I actually have another 1 to 15, but it's not in any sort of case. It's the Whispers of Terror. I only have the booklet and the discs.
Oh, you'll have to get a new case then.
Yeah, but I prefer having everything, you know.
Yeah.
But that's also an original.
Okay, Whispers of Terror. That was number 9, was it?
That was number 3.
Number 3. Sorry.
6th Doctor.
Oh yeah, the first 6. Okay, and then number 15, of course, is the Mutant Phase, with 5 Nissa and Daleks.
Yeah, and then of course, good. I like it.
Yeah. And then of course we get to number 16, which stars Matt's favorite Doctor.
Storm Warning. I actually have Sword of Orion and Minuet in Hell, although Minuet in Hell is missing 1 disc.
Ooh, ow.
That's annoying, but oh well. I should probably
Which
make
one?
a I have releases number 19 to 22.
Okay.
So yeah, I've got four releases back to back.
Yeah.
I mean those are Minuet Hell, Lugaroo, Dust Breeding, and Blood Tide.
Yeah.
Which is a very good Silurian story, I must admit.
Dust Breeding is one I would like to get in particular because I've got the download of it.
It's an alright story.
I'll be guess. I think Storm Warning. I'm re-listening to it and doing on my train journeys to and from university.
Yeah.
So I'm doing Storm Warning again because I've already heard it.
Yeah.
So I've done it again, so I'm over halfway. So after that should be Dust Breeding because that's the next one in my catalogue that I've downloaded. And then after that, I think it's Eye the Scorpion. Then it's back to Paul McGann for Invaders of Mars and the Chimes of Midnight.
I have the Chimes of Midnight as well, physically.
I got the Chimes of Midnight too. I was so happy.
I am also happy that I own the Chimes of Midnight.
Yeah, and I got it for slightly cheaper than you. That's good. How much did you have to pay for postage and packaging?
Well, it was about it was just over £1. So that the thing
Mine was about $1.50, I think.
Something like that. And for the thing is, the actual item itself was just under £40. So it was It was about £40.
Yeah.
After very just over.
I got mine for 30 plus the postage and packaging, so mine was just over 30 overall. And it was in a bid, and it was at quite a low price to start with. And out of all the bids that I was doing recently, this one just kept going up and up and up. This was a very popular one. In the end, well, someone won at £31, but then they didn't want it, so I got it for my offer. And I agreed, and yeah, so I got it. So I've got it now.
Yeah,
so I'm happy, even though it costs £31.50, including postage and packaging.
Didn't you also bid for a certain order? I can't remember. Terra Firma, was it?
Oh yeah, I think. Well, I bid for a couple. I won some, and that was definitely one I did win.
Yeah.
I wonder who the seller could have been. He seems like a very nice guy.
Who had two because he bought a bundle of 8th Doctor audios and he owned most of them already, so he might as well have just sold the ones that he already had. I wonder who that could possibly be.
I definitely once I get more money, when I get more money, I would probably go back to him if he's still got some for offer.
Unfortunately, people aren't bidding, so unfortunately, he will probably still have those on offer.
So, like saying about, I don't know, but at my rate, probably in 10 years. That's an exaggeration. Hopefully, it'll be less than that.
Hopefully. Yeah.
Like a couple of months.
Probably. It'll probably be a lot cheaper by then anyway.
Yeah. I mean, this one was $4.35 this time round. Last time it was $4.65, not including P&P. So, yeah, they probably will be cheaper. I know you sold one of your releases to someone else. You sold one of them.
I sold Scherzo and I also sold something inside. So
one, but I am definitely interested in the rest of your ones.
Yeah.
Apart from the Next Life, because I've already got that. But
I'm surprised that one's not out of print yet. On the
that one's still in print. What about the other 8th Doctor ones that you have? At least
they're all in print.
Oh, all of them.
All of them.
Okay. What about the two that you sold before Terra Firma?
Shirt says out of print.
Yeah, I gathered that. What about the other one?
It's not.
That one is in print.
It is in print, yeah.
Oh, yeah, so all of them but Scherzo and Terra Firma were in print.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know why Scherzo was the first to go out of print? Is it because it's the
Because
most
it's
it's a popular one?
popular. It's probably probably because it's the most popular one.
Yeah, I think it's the most popular one.
Because it's really good.
51 to 100.
It's probably because it is one of the best audios that they've ever made.
I haven't heard it yet, so
It's
what release number is it?
52.
52, so it's just after Zagreus for the 8th Doctor.
Literally right after it.
What was 51? Was that an 8th Doctor, or was it...
That was a 6th
someone
Doctor.
Else? Okay.
The Wormery.
Okay.
And that's set after Trial of the Time Lord, where he meets up with Iris Welltime at a bar, where he investigates some weird happenings, and just Iris keeps getting drunk. Yeah, it is. It's one I would recommend to put you in a good mood.
Okay, I think it's either this month or next month's audio that sees the 7th Doctor and Iris having a bit of a battle with each other.
That one,
not like a war, just like they're not very happy with each other. Okay, that's going to be his December one.
Yeah,
and we can finally, and I think it was last week they confirmed that the last one would indeed be a 6th Doctor one.
Yeah,
which is good because he's had. Yeah, which is good because if it wasn't 60, he would have had the least releases of the year, unless another Doctor was brought in for a single audio, which would probably not be likely unless it's 8.
Mm-hmm. I like how I just made this like, oh, it's the final pre-Series 11 discussion. We're not talking about Series 11 at all. We're talking about Big Finish. To be honest, this is the last discussion that I'll have. This is more casual discussion. It doesn't need to be about Series 11, but it's like, it's the last one before Series 11.
Yeah.
Just thought I'd make that point. Now time to speak about more Big Finish.
Yeah. Oh, just to let you know, it is now just under 2 days to go. Sorry, just under a day and 2 hours.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're counting down. So it's about less than 26 hours to go.
I'm just going to say this right now. I've listened to at least, actually a few adventures from each of the first 8 Doctors in Big Finish. At least a few adventures.
Yes.
I'm currently listening to the ISOS network. I listened to the first half of it yesterday, and I'll listen to the second half of it on Monday. It's a Cyberman story set right after the invasion.
Okay. Is this the 2nd Doctor story?
Yes. Well, it's right after the invasion for the 2nd Doctor. It might be set right before it for the Cybermen, though.
Oh.
Maybe.
Is this the Planet 14 one, then? Has anyone actually done a Planet 14 story yet? Anyone?
Well, I mean, if this is true, if ISOS 2 is indeed Planet 14.
Yeah, because Planet 14 is mentioned in the invasion.
Yeah.
That the Doctor and Jamie were recognised there. But I don't think it's ever been made a story about Planet 14.
Then I believe that might be it, because they're being recognised as the Doctor and Jamie. And plus, it kind of has a cyber controller in it, as seen from Tomb of the Cybermen.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know why they didn't upgrade his design.
Because it's a 2nd Doctor one.
I know, but it's different Cybermen. You would have thought they would have upgraded their leader, their overlord.
These Cybermen are invasion style
technology, yeah. But no. Cyber controller was clearly ahead of his time, so they kept it because it's not obsolete yet.
Yeah, they'll change it once they get to the Earthshock style.
Mm.
In fact, I think the invasion style is pretty much what is the set from that point onwards. They have a very similar style from that story onwards. If you look at
Yeah.
Revenge of the Side, certainly with the helmets. With Revenge of the Sidemen, the helmets are very similar. I think it's the handles that are just the most different. Then with Earthshock, it changes to the most recognizable classic ones,
The best ones, in my
excluding the
opinion.
Temple Planet ones. Yep.
Well,
And I think
they're my
most
favorite because
yeah,
nostalgia. They just look
yeah,
cool. they just
yeah.
like they just look like robots, but you can tell they're not robots.
Mm,
But still, they just look like cool 80s robots, you know?
yeah.
But you can
Well,
tell they're not actually robots because they're
they're supposed
Cybermen.
yeah, they need
I
to be.
just think that's
That's what
cool and I like it. And to be honest, if I control Doctor Who, I'd make a design sort of like that because my
Yeah.
inner like 9-year-old would be like, yeah, make them look cool. But then I
Yes.
would be like, now make the story as scary as you could possibly can. But
Ooh.
make the Cybermen look fucking cool. That's me. That's what I would do with Doctor Who.
Okay. So yeah, the Earthshock Cybermen. Basically, we keep
Yeah.
that design throughout the 80s. Slight little bit of a change in polish, shall we say? They kind of polish up the Cybermen for Silver Nemesis to make them a bit more shinier.
Yeah.
But design-wise, it's pretty much the same.
Yeah.
And then you get to the new series ones.
Yeah, I don't like the new series Cyberman design, but the Cyber Leader and Cyber Controller, I feel like for that design, they're perfect. For that design
Are you
of
talking about
Cyberman.
the Cyber Leader with the brain or Cyber Leader before the brain?
To be honest, both. I
Okay.
think I just think it looks cool and scary.
With the Cyber Leader, I prefer the Cyber Leader not showing his brain. I think that's something the Cyber Controller
Yeah,
should have, and the Cyber
I
Leader
will.
just should have the black handles. Maybe
I would
I
personally
don't mind.
I would personally never have the Cyber Controller or have the Cyber Leader, sorry, have a brain.
Yeah,
But
show
you
show the
can't
brain.
deny it doesn't look. You can't deny that it looks cool.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind the black half the face being black. I just wouldn't show the brain.
Yeah, I
I would have stuck with the
personally
handles.
I wouldn't even have handlebars for the Cyber Controller. Just
Well, not Cyber. I'm talking Cyber Leader.
I know,
Cyber
but I wouldn't
Controller.
even have handlebars for the Cyber Controller personally.
I think Russell T Davis did want handlebars for the Age of Steel one. I think that was one of his must-haves. It must have handlebars.
I think, in my opinion, the handlebars are necessary for like signals, I guess, sending signals or whatever. But to be honest, the Cyber
Yeah.
Controller should be the smartest Cyberman.
Yeah.
So his brain should be like the most highlighted part of that or something. I don't know. I don't know.
But
I
it's
think if
better.
I overthought the design, I would come up with something better.
But the Attack of the Cybermen Cyber Controller didn't even show his brain. He
But
just had
but there
big
was
lumpy
a
head,
long protrusion, anyways.
a long protrusion.
A long protrusion on his head,
Yeah.
where the brain should have. It looks like a willy. There we go.
Yeah, he doesn't have handlebars either, so
It doesn't work. It's not.
no.
It is the worst cyber controller design.
Yeah. If they showed the brain, it would have been better.
Yeah, it's just the
Yeah.
worst cyber controller design.
You can see why we prefer the Tomb of the Cybermen one. And maybe
Oh
also,
yeah.
I prefer the Age of Steel one as well. Handlebars and everything.
You know, my top 3 Cyberman designs, in order of appearance: 10th Planet, Moonbase / Tomb of the Cybermen, 80s. Inner 9-year-old self is the main reason.
Yeah, you can put 80s down as Earthshock onwards.
Yeah.
Silver Nemesis is a little slightly more polished, but
I think it looks worse than
design-wise.
Silver Nemesis, to be honest.
Sorry?
That's more nostalgia talking for me. That it looks worse than Silver Nemesis.
As a design-wise, it's a nicer color. they're more shiny, but design-wise, there wasn't really that much wrong with the design, or at least not besides the obvious.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, lots of people, even those who saw it at the time, would think they look very silly, but the new ones the 2006 ones anyway, look a bit more menacing.
To be honest, they look more like robots, and I don't
Mm.
like that.
Yeah, I think
They don't. They don't.
the newer
They look
ones, I
like
think, are even more.
toys. They
Sorry,
look like toys.
they are toys. Well, the action figures are.
I don't like the fact that Doctor Who's designs are literally just to sell toys. You know, like first actual elements of the show being changed just to sell toys. Fine, Sonic Screwdriver's been there for a while, but why do you have to make it look like a toy? And now the Cybermen literally look like toys. Like Cybermen are iconic anyway. You don't need to make them look like a toy to sell to children because they'll buy it anyway.
Do you prefer the 2006 Cybermen to the 2013 ones?
I prefer the 2013 ones because of the
Oh, okay.
context. It's literally just because of the context.
Okay.
Because I hate the fact that the Cybermen, uh, to be honest, I just hate what New Who's done with the Cybermen in general. I just hate them both.
Okay.
I prefer all the classic designs of the Cybermen, to be honest. And actually, I don't mind as much that they don't. That, to be honest, if you're going to have all metal, at least make the insides organic. Make it full on horror. But no, the insides are robots too with little fleshy bits. But
Well,
like
they've still got bits of. Oh yeah, what you meant? Okay. But
in all
brain is the
honesty,
only thing.
I would go back to like the more fluid looking, like I would go back to more of the Earthshock design.
Yeah,
I'd modernize it.
just don't make it look as obvious as a man in a silver jumpsuit. But
No,
then
I'm gonna make it a man in a silver jumpsuit.
I think some people might find that silly.
I'm gonna make it a man in a silver jumpsuit, but I'll explain it by like having it be some sort of Kevlar like material,
Right.
so they're indestructible.
Okay.
I'm making the Cybermen better, like in every way possible, by going back to that design but explaining how that's better than just armor.
And then making
Kevlar
it
is
stronger.
bulletproof, swordproof. It's basically just armor, but flexible. And to be honest, Cybermen don't need to stomp. Cybermen
Yes.
try to survive however they can. And to be honest,
Yeah.
you don't need to stomp to survive. In fact,
Yeah.
you're making people aware of you, so you're less likely to survive, and people are
Yes.
more likely to run away, so you're
Yeah.
less likely to get new recruits. So quite frankly,
Yeah.
it's a evolutionary
Yeah.
tactic.
Billy
to stomp.
Tracy explained that in his new Cybermen video in 2012 on
Yeah.
52 fans when they announced the new Cybermen designs. The new Cybermen, on the other hand, are faster, or at least in the first time they appeared.
Too fast. I think this
Yeah.
in Nightmare in Silver, the Cybermen were handled very poorly in that.
Yeah. I'd probably put it down more to the fact that there was a script interference.
Mm,
And that the story was changed quite a bit.
yeah.
I think they need to give Neil Gaiman ask Neil Gaiman to come back and promise not to fiddle too much.
Right. So,
Just beyond the usual script editing.
want to know the timeline of the Cybermen?
Yeah, go on.
Right. So,
It's probably very
I'm only
convoluted.
gonna count like stuff that I want to count:
So TV stories.
TV, audio, and I guess books.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
This is in no way going to be convoluted. It's going to be just as simple as the Dalek timeline, minus the reboot.
the Dalek timeline is just no. I don't want to go there. Cybermen is a lot more straightforward because they don't have time travel.
Yeah.
And they aren't involved in the Time War.
And there's no genesis of the Dalek style story where it delays their
Actually, I've got a
escape.
theory about the Daleks timeline.
Hmm.
It's a
Yeah.
branching timeline.
Sorry.
It's a branching timeline.
Okay.
Branching off the paths of like but do you know what messes it up?
What?
New Who
Oh.
again. Like, have you noticed that like the Daleks from the 60s look different to the Daleks in Genesis of the Daleks?
Yeah.
Well, I think it's because without the Doctor's interference, the Daleks had this massive empire. Like the Daleks were somehow like they were on an unstoppable force, and when the Doctor interfered, it just halted their development.
Yeah.
So then I feel like all the Dalek stories before then
Mm.
are wiped.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
So then, and then theoretically, the old Dalek, like the Dalek from Genesis of the Daleks, that sort of design, it goes forward, right?
Mm.
And it, yeah, it goes forward, and then we don't have an in-between story for like the Imperial/Renegades to the modern
Yeah.
Daleks.
Yeah. My guess is that they got
So,
the new design around the time the Time War started.
and Destiny of the Daleks uses the Silver Dalek design, right?
Yeah. Well, it uses a slightly lighter grey.
Oh, it's just lighter grey.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
so
not the
that
ones
just
from.
fits. Okay, okay. So my theory
Yeah,
works.
I think there's one dark grey in it. So I think there's one dark grey at least.
Okay, so my theory's fine. It's just my theory.
Yeah,
It's linear. It
I think the
works
I think
linearly.
the dark grey ones seen in Day of the Daleks. I think they're in every Dalek story besides Death, up to Revelation, and I think Destiny has at least one. And there's one in Genesis of the Daleks with a silver gun. I think the rest are bronze. I'm not sure. They're definitely the main Daleks in Day, Planet, Frontier in space, Genesis and Resurrection, and the Skaro one from Revelation.
So hold on. Do the Daleks recognize the Doctor in the Third Doctor Black Dalek stories?
Yeah. In Day of the Daleks, they use the probe.
In Day of the Daleks, they use the probe to.
They use a mind probe on him. They guess he's the Doctor, so they use a mind probe to make sure.
So they know of the Doctor,
Yep, they know the Doctor
but
from
they
his past
don't
adventures.
recognize him because Genesis of the Daleks happened.
Oh wow, okay.
Was it?
It was well. This is before Genesis of the Daleks,
I know, but like,
so this is
how
just
can
the
they
fact that he was
recognize
the
the
third
Doctor
one.
otherwise for my theory to work? Because my theory goes like in the 60s timeline, is what I'm going to call it. Genesis of the
Okay.
Daleks is the constant, where you get the Black Daleks, but they evolve into the Silver Dalek design if
Yeah,
they have their
yeah.
Scaronian Empire, is what I'm going to call it.
Okay.
However, they just continue and continue, and I'm going to call it the Davros decline, the Davros downfall timeline, as then they're they're basically centered on Davros, and
Yeah.
and then Davros decides I'm going to make more Daleks because this is a timeline where Davros just basically just survives
Yeah.
and sees the Daleks get defeated over and over again. In the
So,
previous timeline, it did not. And in my opinion, that timeline could be fully explored in the Unbound universe
hmm.
because they did explore it in Masters of War, I think. But because, like, don't have that sort of stuff, and Davros and Davros is just still worshipped by the Daleks, and the Daleks actually become soft on the Thals. Have you noticed that the Daleks have become more ruthless? like since Genesis of the Daleks, right? They
Mm,
become more
I guess.
bloodthirsty
With
rather than just a dictatorship.
Yeah, with the exception of Destiny, I would agree. Although Destiny, there was some pretty brutal deaths.
They
There
they
was
were
some
fighting a
silly,
war.
yeah.
They
However, in
weren't
terms of
trying. They weren't going for all out genocide. They were just fighting a war.
yeah, yeah. Plus the prisoners they decided to execute because of the Doctor just having Davros as hostage, and then later when they were
They
fighting
are
back,
Nazis.
yeah, they are Nazis.
So
They're Nazis that don't think that just don't understand basic logic. Sometimes they got computers to do
they're
it instead.
Nazis.
Yes. Yeah, in the mutant phase, they are really they will not shut up unless they are in danger. There are situations that they cannot find acceptable, which we would find fairly reasonable,
Oh, I've just realised.
and they would not shut up saying silence. Every other couple of minutes they keep going silence.
I've just realised
Silence,
something.
silence, 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 or you will be exterminated, you little motherfucker.
Nick, I've
It's
just
like,
realised
I think
something.
that's the worst thing about that story. They kept saying silence so much, it got irritating.
I've just realised something wrong with my theory.
Oh, okay.
Daleks invading Earth in 2150.
2150 AD. 2150 AD. 50, not 51. In 2157. Or in Big Finish's case, well, with Masters of Earth, 64 was when the revolution happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why they did that. Masters of Earth, they changed it. They moved the dates.
They moved the
Whilst
actual
music,
dates.
yeah,
They
I think.
moved the years.
Well, it's set in 63. They say the revolution seen in Dalek Invasion of Earth is 64,
Yeah.
but Dalek Invasion of Earth is 67. Plus, I think they also mentioned. I already heard part one, by the way. That in Masters of
I've
Earth,
only heard
they
part one.
mentioned. I think in that they mentioned that it started in 54, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Something like that. But
which it didn't. It actually started in 57.
because 10 years.
And Mutant Phase is set in 58, partly.
The thing is,
1 year afterwards.
right?
Hmm.
The reason why they shifted the dates, I think, is because they wanted it to be clean 200 years. 200
Sorry?
years since it was broadcast. That's when it's
Uh,
set.
but it messes up the date
200 years
established.
from modern day, from a viewer's
Yeah.
point of view. To be honest, it doesn't mess up too many things. Maybe Genesis of the Daleks happened, and maybe that's why all the dates were messed up.
Okay,
Because time shift. How they invaded Earth in the first place, I do not know.
Cleverness.
Maybe it's the same sort of Dalek faction as in Destiny of the Daleks. Maybe it's later on Daleks timeline. Maybe they just decided, hey, let's do some colonization. So they sent out lesser powerful Daleks, the silver variant, to go out into the universe. Then when they got more powerful, they could send their proper factions in. Their proper black Daleks.
Yeah, well, they're both of them are grey, light grey and dark grey. But you say
but you know what I mean. Black Daleks. We're calling them black Daleks.
Yeah, even though they're dark grey.
Dark grey Daleks.
Yeah, they're led by a black Dalek in Resurrection.
Yeah, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So we're sorting out the Dalek timeline. Is there?
Yeah, let's do this before we do the Cybermen one.
Yeah. So
let's sort out Daleks first.
I'm using this website that has timelines. Davros's timeline is actually easier because he's a person.
Yes.
And we've only seen him in these things because, there's only one Davros story that's definitely not canon, no matter how you look at it. Well, one that I know of and one that I've experienced, and that's Masters of War.
Okay. Masters of War. Which one was that?
That's the 8th Unbound audio, starring David Warner.
Okay.
And also starring Terry Malloy, obviously. And starring Nicholas Courtney.
What's the
Like-
other one? You said
Uh,
there was another one. Would that be the other Unbound story with Davros? Does Davros have another Unbound story?
No. I'm saying that's the only one I know of.
Okay.
So Davros, so Davros has like
Davros.
3 sections in on this
Yeah.
like website. I'm using bradleysbasement.wordpress.com.
Yeah.
Bradleybasement.wordpress.com. But yeah, I mean, the beginning on Skaro is obvious. You've got
Yeah.
innocence, purity,
Purity.
corruption,
And
guilt,
Guilt. And
then
Genesis of the Daleks.
I'm only counting full stories here. I'm not counting
Yeah.
segments of stories that are set, unless if
Yeah.
they're a huge enough segment for me to mention it. But
Yeah.
the speech at the beginning of the audio, Davros, really. Then there's
The second.
the classic series. Oh yeah, Genesis of the Daleks.
Let's say Genesis to Time War.
Well, the thing is, guilt leads into Genesis directly.
Yeah,
Like,
but
as
if we
in,
include
they show the
Genesis.
very first Dalek tests.
Yeah. Yeah. But I meant after Genesis of the Daleks, from let's say Destiny then. Destiny to Time War
I mean,
for segment 2.
classic series Davros.
Yeah. Which
So
is
you've got Destiny of
basic.
the Daleks, you've got
Mhm.
Resurrection, you've got Davros.
Yes.
So that is for the Doctor and Davros. That's set in between Resurrection and Revelation.
Which explains how he knows the Doctor, the 6th Doctor in Revelation.
Yeah. Then you've got the Davros mission after Revelation.
That was after Revelation.
Yeah.
Okay. That's technically Davros episode 5, but it's not counted as it's not really called that. It's
Yeah.
just a special part of the range. You
Yeah.
can get it in a bundle.
Then
download.
The Curse of Davros.
Oh, that's next. Okay.
Well, out of the audio, I'm not counting the comics, but the Curse of Davros, because it's next for the Doctor, so it's also next for Davros, I guess. Then
No.
the Juggernauts.
Yeah, that's a good one, by the way. I've heard that. It's very good. Mel, that is the only time that I thought Mel was a very good character. Well, it's certainly the first time, at least. The first time I thought Mel was a very good character was in that story.
Yeah.
And it's mainly to her reactions to Davros towards the end.
Yeah.
I mean, the performance when she's having a go at him is really good.
Yeah. Because she was tricked into thinking Davros was actually a nice guy.
Yeah.
Then you've got Remembrance of the Daleks.
The best.
Then there's a book, War of the Daleks.
Yeah, War of the Daleks. That book apparently messes up a lot of continuity.
Yeah, so let's ignore that. Terra Firma.
Yep. I'll get to that soon. Well, soon being relative.
Daleks Among Us.
Daleks Among Us.
That's the 7th Doctor one.
Okay. Davros is in that.
Yes.
Is that monthly release 201?
No.
Okay, wrong one. No, that's We Are the Daleks.
Yeah. And then his appearance in a Bernie Summerfield audio, Lights of Skaro. Comes in. Then there's new series Davros. You've got the Stolen Earth, Journey's End, then the Magician's Apprentice, which is familiar. And that's it.
And anything in the Time War, which hasn't been explored yet. That's something they should do with the 8th Doctor Time War box set 3 or 4.
I think they should.
And have Davros's have the supposed death of Davros, maybe at the start of box set 4. And then I don't know how many 8th
I know
Doctor
it
Time
makes
War
sense
still.
to have Julian Bleach as Davros, but Terry Malloy, please do it.
I mean, it would make sense to be either of them, because Terry Malloy would be at the time. If it's still considered classic series, then it would make sense.
It's sort of considered like
It's Time War. It's
new
kind of a
series.
middle ground.
Nah, Time War is considered new series.
Oh, so it might make more sense for Julian Bleach. However, it could be the story chronological wise, it could be the last one for Terry Malloy
Yeah,
in a
I think
chronological
it would
sense.
work. I think it could work
Yeah,
with Terry
I
Malloy.
think stories after the Time War would be better with Julian Bleach. However, I would not. I would say don't not have Terry Malloy if we can't. If we can have Terry Malloy, I would say don't get him if you can. If you can, get him in,
Yeah.
especially if we can't get Julian Bleach.
So the Daleks.
So, hang on, just want to say that. Hang on, just wanted to ask. Do you know if there's any more Eighth Doctor Time War box sets after the fourth one, or if that will be the
No.
last one?
Well, Big Finish haven't confirmed anything.
If it is going to be the last one, which it makes sense to be, then I think it should time with Night of the Doctor.
I think it should.
Yeah. Maybe the start of that or the end of box set 3 should be the death of Davros, as it's first year of the Time War. The Eighth Doctor's already a little bit caught up in it, and he's not quite become the War Doctor yet. So I think one of those two box sets should start / end with
episode 3,
Davros.
actually.
Sorry?
They would probably do it in episode 3 of box set 4. I think I've got my dinner now, so I'll briefly end this stream, then I'll return later.
All right. Yeah. So okay.
See you in part 2, I guess.
It might even be 3 parts.
Anyway, see ya.
Because my dinner might be later. Bye.